Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and very good morning again. So today we will try to go to the topic directly. That day the introduction took almost the whole day, and now we will go to the topic directly. What we will be talking about today, we will be talking about the types of paper that can be published, the things that we need to prepare and to be ready in order to publish, and some other tips and tricks for review, because review process is very important, as you know, and here in the review process where it might be the problem, the rejection happen. All right. So as you know, there are a lot of components for each publication, and for each publication also, or for different type of publication, there is a special data that can suit this type of publication. Usually when we talk about original articles, but we do not want to limit ourselves for original articles. We will be open to many review articles, short communication, note, disease note, and whatsoever, because these are all publication and it will be all counted in your KPI, in your profile, and in your project. All right. So what is the article types? Article types will be review article. As you know, it's written by individual who done substantial amount of work in the field, which is summarizing the new finding and the new update in the field. That's here where some of the mistakes taking place, sometimes here in UPSI and other places. A friend of mine come to me and he say, okay, you know what, I got my PhD student, I will write a review article. But that friend don't have altogether maybe 5-6 papers. The journal will not consider you or take you seriously at this early stage to publish a review article, unless you team up with somebody that really very well known in the field. Then only it will be accepted. Not because of anything, but because the journal expects this substantial work to be done by someone have experience, published probably 25 minimum of articles within that field, at least. But you publish 5 articles from different fields, and you just because the student want to write about or want to work about this topic, let's write a review article. Where the problem will be starting, and here I'm talking about a good Scopus journal, a good WOS journal, especially if we talk about Springer Nature. I'm not talking about journals that could be today in Scopus, tomorrow out of Scopus. That is a different story, because remember, sustainability is very important. One of the things that you need to think about in sustainability is to sustain your publication. I mean, you publish it and you don't have to worry every year this journal is out of Scopus or not. That's where there will be a problem for you, for university, for everything. You need to choose a sustainable journal, mean consistently index within Scopus. The second type, which is more probably suitable, the second type which is more suitable for maybe the early career researcher, is to write a mini review. Some journals, they only accept or they encourage to write a mini review. Mini review means there is a specific part of your project that you will be proceeding to, maybe do a project, do a master PhD study, and you want to write a mini review which will be more focused and more direct directed, more focused, more directed, that will be something suitable rather than going to full review article. Now, if we have the time, which I doubt we will do, but if we have the time, we will go through review articles and their different type, because review articles are not the same. There are review articles, they call it the narrative review, which is more of literature review, and there is also meta-analysis, and there is also systematic review, and there is a type of review that can mix these three together. Without going into details, because we just want to get some introduction, so this is the type of reviews. Case report is also one of the types of article that can be considered. If you are doing maybe some sort of studies, clinical study, pathological study, I'm not sure so much about the human science or education or other type of fields, but case study is a very great opportunity to publish, and usually it will be a small article that will be focusing on results that need to be published immediately and need to be given the priority. Next will be case study. This is more of clinical, and I don't think here we have anyone doing clinical studies, so we will not need to focus so much on this, but it is something also to be considered. And beside case study, there is also something I encourage everybody to also look for, which is the publication of short communication or research note or disease note. This is very suitable when you have interesting study. However, the amount of data that you have is not really sufficient to write a full article or original article, they call it. So this one here, it will be very suitable. Short communication or research note. Short communication is will still be original, significant finding, still have the same structure, where you have to write an introduction, materials and method, result, discussion, conclusion, and whatnot, but not in depth, not so deep like the normal study. This is considered short communication. It also can be called research note or disease note. Disease note, for example, in plant pathology, it's a one-page article only. So just one page. All the finding will be summarized in one page. And you think that will be super easy. This is very difficult type of article to be published, to be honest to you. It will take as much time as the normal paper. I usually publish quite a lot, not for anything, but if you have reporting a new disease, a new bacteria, a new fungi that infect that particular, in my case, plant, so I would like to document it fast. That's why I published the disease note. But this one required quite a lot of things, including, for example, when we talk about disease note, you need to have the pathogen have been identified, have been sequenced, and also have been deposited in the NCBI. You get your own accession number. You get, if you have protein, you submit it to proteomics exchange or other proteome data in order to publish. It's very condensed information in one page, but it is absolutely helpful, and it can be considered KPI achievement for your project and for your student, if of course the study will be suitable. If the study is not suitable, then I think you should focus or you go for short communication. I have good result. I have nice result. Of course, I think it is nice and good. and as we highlighted part one, it's not really important what you think about your results, what the journal think about it, but you did your experiment ongoing, or your analysis ongoing, data collection ongoing. So this interesting part, publish first as a short communication. But avoid what we call it research salami. Mean, don't cut the research into small pieces, thin pieces, because you want to get higher number. This one should be avoided. Maybe your study got two objectives. They are of course connected, but they are kind of independent with each other. I mean, to do the objective one, it's going to be sufficient to tell a story for your publication. If you have this, you can go for short communication. I'm against cutting your research into small pieces and to publish higher number. Because yes, the university, the library, RMIC, boss, everybody want a number, but at the same time they also look for Q. Betul, Cik Kashfian, the Q is also important. Where your journal lie, is it in the quarter or quartile 1, 2, 3, 4 and whatnot, because there should be a balance between quality and quantity at the same time. This is where short communication come very handy. I have now currently Naveed, my student, he just come back from Taiwan. He's doing master, and his article, which is sort of short communication, just accepted about 3 weeks ago, I think, and it will be published in end of October at the Ukrainian Journal of Botany. Yeah, so we go for him for short communication, because the second objective is still ongoing, will take some time. First objective, quite some time already done, so I think we can proceed. So we expect your article to be at the end of October. So this is an example to how to publish a short communication and how it could be useful when you have a student not graduate cepat kan. So instead of waiting all the data and gathering everything, and then the student sometimes lari kena cari dia orang, minta data, student tak bagi, you know, all these kind of stories that we hear a lot in UPSI and also elsewhere. You might just go and opt for short communication, research note, disease note, whatever it is. That will be very helpful for you to secure one publication for student. I would like my student to go viva when they have at least one published article. For me, it will be giving them more confidence, and the story they are telling about their master is more convincing and more complete, rather than still, you know, the data, I'm still analyzing, I borrow submit, but this is a personal preference. You don't have to take it so much serious. It's just that I'm emphasizing on short communication, and it's important, in, especially for students. I think it's a good approach. So these are the types, among many other types, less familiar, less known by researchers, but these are the type: original article, review article, with its own different type of review, case report, case study, disease note, research note, short communication, of course got editorial, commentary. That one is a little bit more advanced, so we will not really cover it. These are the articles, or the type of articles that can be accepted by different journals. You have to check, not every journal accept these kind of articles. articles. Ada jurnal yang tak terima short communication. Ada yang memang focus on short communication because they want to differentiate between the big full-length article and the smaller yet interesting finding or result to be published. All what we're talking about here will vary in the amount of words that we need to write in order to publish. From the disease note being the smallest type of article that we can write, about maybe 800 to 1,000 words, to full research article or full review article, which can reach up to 18,000 words and even more. This is just rough estimation. This is not something you have to follow. If it's 5,500, you can submit. You don't have to wait for it to be 8,000. You just need to follow the journal instruction, and usually your problem as an author will be not that you don't have enough words. Usually the problem is the opposite. You have limited number given to you by the journal, and you need to tell your story within this 4,000, 5,000, 8,000, whatever it is. Here is the difficulty, because yeah, we can talk a lot. I can talk a lot, right, until afternoon, but I need to talk very short and yet informative. This is how it works for this kind of articles. Last part one, we talk about Springer, and we highlight that Springer is not Springer. It is a Springer because it's a German word. And I give you example, Springer, like spelled like burger. And I told you I will show you the burger, but that day tak sempat because the introduction took 2-3 hours. I don't know what kind of introduction that was. Anyway, so in depth, if you want to dissect the article, so you have to know what you will do to write an article. I know we all know, but we need to know the way that the journal want us to know, in depth. Okay, so what is actually needed? We need an introduction which have basically the literature review about the work, highlight the problem statement, the research gap, and finally the objective within your study. This is the first layer, roti yang atas sekali. And second is the method, which is some tomato and some onion. And if you are not on diet like me, you can add some cheese. This one is basically about the methodology, procedure, statistic, population. For human studies, it's more about population. How reproducible is your sample or your experiment, statistically sound. This is all will be achieved via the methodology or materials and method, depend on the type of article you are writing, and also depend on the nature of the study. Then the result, the most important part, daging, ayam ke, wherever, daging merah, fish, it doesn't matter, as long as this is the daging, the main part of the sandwich of your article, where you basically do a data presentation, but without interpretation. Dr. Munira, that's very important. Without interpretation, because if you write interpretation, then what you gonna write in discussion? Unless, which I less prefer, you write result and discussion as one part. I personally don't advise at all, because you need to be able to distinguish between your findings and your finding interpretation, which is at very early stage research. It's going to be a difficult task. there will be a difficult task to be achieved. And finally, we go back to the last layer, roti yang bawah sekali, that complete the story, which is the discussion. Here we have to go for interpretation of data, and then discussion, basically highlighting the limitation of our study, because our study, no matter what it is, it has limitation. And we put the summary statement. Summary statement here, it means the conclusion or concluding remark, depend on your style of writing. So notice that I have highlighted about the burger, but we didn't talk about the abstract, because the abstract is actually will come last. You will write the abstract only when you've done all this, although it comes first in the sequence in your article, but that's a very big mistake if you start to write it first. You have to put it the last thing to be written, because it's basically summary of all this within the range of 200 to 250 words only. If we have time, then part 2 of today, if we have time, or part 3 in the future, we will talk about the abstract and how we write abstract exactly. There is a way to write abstract, and we will discuss it in details. So, yeah, I mean, maybe you will tell yourself, okay, Jamil, we know all this, nothing new. What new that you want to tell us? In fact, what makes your paper good is the storytelling, what you're telling within your paper. First, what so-called the novelty, which I really don't consider this word is, sometimes it's misleading, because you have to know that where we are doing this research, what level, how much money being spent on the research. So novelty is a question mark here. We are not reinventing any wheel. We are not doing something wow worldwide. We cannot do something wow worldwide with 2,000-3,000 USD, no such thing. But it is a very good piece of work, a good quality research can maybe go to a Q2, Q1 Web of Science journal. Why not? So again, your paper must be coming with a new aspect, not necessarily high level of novelty. But it must have something different in the way you do the analysis, in the way you do the writing, in the way you do the presentation. Just do not get a paper similar to your work and you try to do your work similar to that paper and you expect to publish your paper in the same journal or higher. That will not work. Why? Because the journal that you read now being done many years ago. You read it now, even if it's published now, but the work is started 2, 3, 4 years ago. Now you want to do the research now, you have to expect your paper will be published in 3 years from now. So there will be a gap. You have to fill in the gap if you are going to the same level of journal. Avoid being only on local interest. Studies have to have, even if it's a Malaysian case study, yes, it's done in Malaysia, but what is the reflection of this study worldwide? How it can be implemented overseas? Because it's published worldwide, the authors, when they published their work, they expected their work to be read by so many people all over the world. So if you put it for local interest, it will say my study done in Kampung, wherever. It's so focused. I mean, siapa nak baca? Orang kampung tu pun tak akan baca. Orang luar Malaysia will not read. You can do the study in that kampung. Of course, there's no problem, nothing wrong. The title you put, the abstract you write, the attraction point, it must be sound globally. Even when I read this about something somewhere in orang asli, contoh di Perak, but I can apply this for any indigenous people worldwide. So this is what I mean by avoid local interest. Even though if you put the word Malaysia, for example, you have to have a title that still sound globally. When the title discuss a problem could be in Malaysia or could be elsewhere. So the more you make your article accessible, the more you will be readable, citable, and more have impact, what we call impact. That's why the journal have impact factor. You also as a researcher have impact factor. How much impactful your work, how much people read it, cite it, and whatnot. This is when we avoid the local interest will be achieved, and it is not difficult, it's just a matter of how you put the words together. Okay, before we start, we go to the preparation. Is there any question? Let's have some question from the floor, if there's anyone have any question. No questions, so we can proceed. All right. This paper structure, unless it is highlighted by the journal to do something else, it will be usually have this main component: abstract, introduction, method, result, discussion, conclusion, of course, references. I cannot emphasize highly enough the importance of using scientific style when writing, especially when it comes to references. I think 95%, and you can disagree with me if you think that's not correct, 95% of our students, our lecturer, when they write, they don't use reference manager. Not for the thesis to be submitted to IPS, this is because it's a must. But for articles, first draft proposal, they don't use reference manager, which have impact on the writing. Having not simple impact, I will highlight, is that when you do manual preparation for references and you submit to your first journal, which will be most likely rejected, then you will need to redo all the references again to the new journal manually, which will deter maybe a lot of people from even proceeding. I'm lazy to do that again and again and again. But if you use reference manager, it's just a matter of few clicks with that particular software, then you are done and you are ready to go for the next submission. That's why you can use Word reference, Zotero, EndNote, Mendeley, whatever type of reference manager. When you start drafting, that's very important. Make your life and your collaborators' life easier. I'm not saying that a reference manager is a perfect. You know, all Mendeley, EndNote, Zotero reference for. Word references have their own problems and bugs and whatnot, but way easier compared to doing that. Especially if you write a chapter or you write a review article which could have maybe 150, 200 reference. That will take how many days to do it manually? I think it will take 2 weeks probably. While if you use the reference manager, that can be done in 1 day. Cut short the time spent. Abstract that summarize the work always should be written towards the end Do not write your abstract at the beginning, because it's gonna be not a good abstract. When you're done, then only you can write your abstract, which you try to make it within the 250 words, not more, not less. Unless the journal asks you for 150, 180, 200 as a maximum, then you need to do some modification to shorten your abstract to meet the journal. By the way, if the journal tell you 250, don't submit abstract with 251 words. Because why? This is where the editor, like me, find it very good opportunity to reject your article with the less efforts. Just gives you reject because you don't follow the author instructions. Walaupun one word, 251 instead of 250. Yes, this is how journals treat the thousands of submissions they receive every year. There are journals published with 300, 400, but they receive 8,000 articles per year. Can you imagine? It is how much percentage of rejection? So they will choose the best of the best of the best. Maybe your paper is one of the best, but this small mistake just did not qualify it to be going to the next stage to peer review process. And do not mix result and discussion. I really advise everybody to avoid mixing result and discussion. Result, you report your result. Discussion, you do discuss, you do the interpretation of your result. Why this happened? Why the student responded that way? Not the other way around. Why hypothesis 0 is proven to be the 1 in comparison to hypothesis 1, 2 or 3, depending on how many hypotheses you have in your study. The why, the how, the result. What is the result? What you got, how you got it, significant, not significant, this is the result. Why, usually to be answered in the discussion. So result without interpretation, discussion should be full of interpretation and asking the question and trying to answer the question why you got this kind of result, because of what you think, what's the theory, what's the hypothesis you think it's playing a role in what result that you got. Different, of course, fields will be different way of interpretation, but always to be in the safe side, do not mix result and discussion. All right, preparation also require us to be ready to choose the journal, the dilemma that so many of us stick to, which will be improving by time. Every time you publish a paper, your skills in selecting the suitable journal will be improved. But as we learn, for those who attended last time, part 1, as we learn how to open the Scopus data from the library account and how we can choose the Scopus database using our keywords to select journals and put a candidate for submission. And we decided, or we agreed, or I highlight usually that you need to have 5 to 10 candidates journal in hand that's suitable, that is healthy in Scopus, that is suitable for your financial situation. Mean, if you have support, you go for open access. If you don't have support, you go for subscription. If you have grant, then you can explore open access journals. If no grant, that's one of the problem I face with some of my friends. The paper go for review, then they contacted me. Do you have a way that we can publish open access? It's under review, and now we receive the review report. I mean, the paper is advancing. How much is 2,600 euros, which is my salary for 4 months? And then I say, why now? I mean, you should have done this earlier. Your due diligence earlier to know whether you have support or not. If not, you have to bear the responsibility. It happened to me. It was my mistake. I bear responsibility to pay, because you have to be prepared. Don't expect somebody to come over and belanja you satu artikel open access. No such thing. Even Cik Kashfi, kawan yang lama, I baru bincang dengan dia. He say, no way, doctor, no belanja. They either choose this one or that one. This is money. Money, no job. And it's a lot of money. So you need to be prepared earlier. Do not surprise that the journal charge. Some people, they go to Springer Journal. When the journal accepted, they start to cry and complain. 3,000 USD. Dude, why are you surprised? The price is in the journal website already. I mean, why? I don't understand the surprise come from what? When you submit, you must have looked at the price, isn't it? Then when it's become the reality close to happen, they were surprised. Just yesterday, I got discussed with one of my friends. They say, I think my paper once accepted, I will withdraw. Why? Because it's 1,600 euro. But you should know before submit why you are wasting your time and your collaborator time. In this case, my advice to the guy or the girl, good luck. I mean, go and withdraw. I cannot do much to you. You have to be in the know whether this one is published for free or even if it's not for free, is it claimable or not? Because there are a lot of things. Always check with the library. It doesn't matter your understanding about the journal. What matters is the understanding of the authority, the grant provider about the journal. So this is something important. In Web of Science, for example, to differentiate between expanded and emerging. That's something you need to understand. Emerging, sometimes it's not considered to be eligible for this kind of incentive or this kind of fund. Expanded will be on the safe side. Contohlah example. And and also we highlighted last week about those publishers that might be expanded and might be look fine, but in Malaysia for us it's not fine. Like Hindawi, Frontiers, Whaley series that used to be Hindawi, and MDPI, ya betul. Yes, these are, walaupun it look fine in the data in the system, but we have arahan the researcher in Malaysia should avoid. So don't surprise when you publish an MDPI and cari duit, Malaysia tak bagi. This is, you must all know, isn't it? Everybody don't know about it? Everybody know, kan? You already got the memo quite some time. I think 1.5 years maybe or more. So you need to ask, you need to double check. If you don't know, better ask. To avoid this kind of conflict, because it's a lot of money. And then also to maybe check whether you are prepared to pay the article processing charge yourself. That happens, but not so often. I have done it maybe 3-4 times when we are 8 people writing an article and we really want it to be open access. And we don't have funds, but we decided, okay, the 2,000 USD divided by 8, how much we gonna contribute? Okay, fine, we'll contribute 250 USD. It's okay, no problem. I mean, Yeah, I maybe in a year or 2 years, I'm willing to do that once. 1,000 something. It's a lot of money, but I like this article. I spend a lot of time and efforts, and 3 years, 4 years, I'm working on the article. I don't think I will myself stop the process of publication just to not to pay 250. That's me, of course, you shouldn't follow. And this is an agreement earlier should be done. We agree earlier before we submit to this particular journal that if it's accepted, each one of us will pay this much. Agree? Agree. Okay. That's something to be considered about choosing the journal. How many of you guys did not attend the part 1? 1, 2, 3. Do let me know if you are interested to go to Scopus and maybe do exercise of selecting journal, because we took quite some time last time, part 1. I'm not sure if you want to, we do it again after we done this session, or you want to go back and refer to the YouTube, right? Upon Zora, we have YouTube that you can refer to, when you can go step by step, use Scopus as the platform to choose your journal, how to check it if it's healthy or not, how to check if it's under the Springer UPSI agreement, how to check if it's taking ages to publish or it is quite fast. This is also something important, although it is subjective. It is very subjective, but we can just get an idea as we show examples last time on how we take 5 or 6 or 10 articles and take the average time between submission and acceptance, and maybe we can come up with our own number, because don't really follow the journal number exactly, it is quite misleading. You take the published one, they will consider the one rejected also. And rejected one usually will be rejected very fast. So the whole process sounds like it's done fast, but in fact the process is not. So this is something I don't want to repeat because we go in details last time, but consider taking 5 to 10 articles from this target journal, look at the time between submission to publication, and then see the average. Is it 4 months, 5 months? Is it 1 year and a half? I show examples last time of my articles published within 3 or 4 months, and there's another example of how many months? 17, I think. 17 months. 17 months, 1 year and almost like towards the 2 year. Yeah, who's willing to wait all that long? That's another question. All right, language is something very important, yet it's really taken sometimes very lightly, especially in the era of ChatGPT. Tak apa, just write and put in ChatGPT and put it in my article. It will sound nice. I submit, but I get rejected again. Why? Yeah, of course you get rejected. Because ChatGPT is not the solution. As we also discussed it last session, it's not the solution. You need to tell your story in a way that is appealing to the editor, appealing to the reviewer. Now, yes, I know some editors, maybe some reviewers, they will use also ChatGPT. But at the end of the day, the respected good Q1, Q2 Web of Science journals, they are still maintaining the quality as much as they can. Especially they are now more sensitive than before because of this ChatGPT, DeepSeek and whatnot, all these LLM tools, and that's why you need to basically have the basic knowledge on what you are doing, what you are saying in the article. When it comes to simplicity, when it comes to the use of correct words and correct terminology, avoid some what they call it padding in English, which is not worthy. It is very significant. It is very novel to. This is art. The editor, reviewer don't really take it serious. And also avoid when you put ChatGPT, it's the article would benefit from an endeavor of whatever. These words they're used by, it's a machine. ChatGPT is as a machine. They will use the same word, and the editor, the reviewer, the managing editor, they will know. They will know if you especially publish in a journal, the editorial board, native speakers, they will absolutely know whether this is you or your computer that write. So avoid that, because this is a very easy way to reject. Also be consistent. Consistency is one of the problems that could face any article. I give example in biotechnology. Sometimes we have the name of the gene, for example, GL13K, for example. So the student or the lecturer or the researcher, they will write G small L capital, G capital L small, 13-K, because so many article before writing is so many. When an editor see this, immediately this is it's a sign to encourage rejection. Meaning the author did not really pay attention to details. So you need to be consistent. Very important to be consistent. Reasonable size paragraph and moving. It sounds simple and sound very basic and sound very well known, but it is not. Believe me. This super lengthy paragraph or very short paragraph will tell whether the authors they know what they are doing or not. Obviously. One more thing I always try to avoid, although let me admit that the latest paper I published last 3 days have the word novel, and that was really against my will. I don't really want it. Although I understand my collaborator point of view, because she has done something have a novelty. I understand that, but I against this word. But you have to be flexible when you work with people. Otherwise, you have to work alone. Because when you work with people, you cannot dictate the project. Even unless that you are the PEI, the principal investigator, and you're a student, and that's it. You can dictate on that. But if you are collaborating between another professor, another lecturer, another from different universities, they have their own opinion to be respected, especially if the article multidisciplinary. That's where the things will start to go sometimes in a way that will be some sort of clash. But you need to be flexible. I personally, I would love to remove the word novel. My collaborator, she won the word novel. So I couldn't help just to leave it for her, although personally I'm against the word novel. Because when I put novel, basically I will bring the expectation of first editor and reviewer during the publication process, and then the authors during the after publication process. I'll bring the expectation too high, which is something you want to avoid. Even though you're confident with your result, no need to bring expectation too high. Let the author appreciate your work by reading and downloading and citing your work. You know, in Springer, for example, since we talk about Springer, you can see each article, how many downloaded, how many times open, seen, how many times downloaded, how many times cited, of course. This is let the author and the scientific community to appreciate your work. No need to put the word novel and whatnot. That's my personal opinion, to adjust the expectation of the editor, reviewer. They don't expect too much from you. And then one thing is, it is the teamwork. When you let your colleague, even though your colleague is not in the article, their name is not listed in the article, to read and criticize your work. Puan Azura just now was asking me how I managed to get the third one in Springer published. Literally, I tell my collaborator, I want you, when I'm done, about to submit, before submit, I want you to slaughter my manuscript. I want you to imagine that you hate me so much when you read it. Why? Because I want her to really find the even super small mistake. Some people, they will think, oh no, you know, janganlah Dr. Munira kawan takkan cakap macam tu kan. This one wrong, this one wrong, this one wrong. No. I will ask my collaborator to slaughter the manuscript. Bring the worst of your comment to the manuscript. Because I will show you later that you can get such comments from reviewer. So how you deal with it. Always go for people that can tell you the truth. Not people that can say, oh yeah, fantastic, nice, this is compliment, needed in the life, but it's not needed in submission. When you submit to Web of Science Q1 journal, you need to really criticize. I basically work that way. Slaughter my article, read every single line. Try to hate me when you read it. Just find any mistake, every mistake. Criticize even though it doesn't sound professional or doesn't making much sense. Because when you deal with this, before submission, you are making your review time short. The more you do earlier, the easier your article will be going through the review process. I have article with me now about probably 8 months. Yeah, I'm the leader of the project, so I can dictate the time, and I have the privilege of keeping that. But what basically I'm doing now, I'm slaughtering the article myself. Every time I criticize, every time I ask my collaborator, redo, rewrite, what do you mean by this? Do this, do that. Just because when I want to submit it, I want to reach to the level that it's past a lot of possible or potential comments. Doesn't mean I will not get comments. No, you will get still comments. The reviewers out there, some of them are really smart, and some of them are really, obviously from the report, they read the article once, twice, thrice, I don't know how many times, and they really read it in detail. Obvious. And there is also a review report, obviously written within like half an hour. But there are these detailed comments from reviewers, which basically are very helpful, because if you get these comments, even though your article is rejected, you are getting service to polish your article for free. You are sending your article to a place, they read, they comment, and they tell you what to do for free. which is something fantastic. Remember, these reviewers, these editors, like myself, 99.9% from the time they do this voluntarily, free of any charge. So wherever they write, wherever they comment, we appreciate, because this is a way to improve our article, and this is part of their peer review process. Until here, do you have any question? Yes.
Without reading a novel, what is your suggestion?
Well, there are a lot of alternatives to this word, but what I mean by the word novel, any word similar or equal to that word also should be avoided. In my opinion, I will want to avoid. Although I told you, ironically, I am saying that, and my latest article, we just published a few days ago, has the word novel in the title, which is definitely not the best for me. But again, I already explained to you how that works. Let me open the title, and then maybe we try to think together what we could do to remove this word. Although this one, too late, it cannot be done at this stage. But just let me share with you so you don't really get bored with the slide, and also have a real example, because I would love to give real examples. So basically this is the title. Dr. Wani, have a look at it. This is the title, published 30th September, about 3 days ago, I think. Anyway, the antibacterial, here where I basically contribute, effect of novel orthodontic peak beads coated with conjugate of fish scale hydroxyapatite nanoparticles and the GL13K, the example I just now give it to you because this is the latest I remember. This is a peptide. So yeah. As you see, it's a multidisciplinary because we have dentistry people going on. We have the dental, basically Dr. Gigi Pinshara in dentistry, a professor. We have Oran Physics that done all this nanoparticle stuff. And we have antibacterial, we have bacteria being grown and cultivated, and this is the biology part of it. So any suggestion, I want to get suggestion from all the audience about what do you think we should replace novel with in this case? Naveed, what do you think? Any suggestion? Dr. Munira?
We use words like innovative.
Innovative, okay, this is one suggestion. Lagi? Naveed? Still thinking. Anyone here have any suggestion? I lupa student yang nama dia apa? What's your name? Sorry, the student that we use last part 1 as an example. Kan? Hari bukan student lain. Okay. Innovative. Any other word? Dr. Suzy? Okay, fantastic. Actually, this is my suggestion. Yes. That was I want to suggest because I want to collect few words, and at the end of the day, since you guys don't have many words to be given, yeah, I mean, that was exactly my suggestion to this very exact title. I just wanted the title to be Antibacterial Effect of Orthodontic Peak Beats. No, I don't want innovative, I don't want novel, I don't want exceptional, I don't want anything. But my collaborator, she insisted on the word novel, which is fine, I understand, you know. But for me, it is not really helpful, to be honest to you. It is maybe more against the paper, not helping the paper. Yeah, I know she's a professor in dentistry, and she's a very good Dr. Gigi, maybe one of the best I met. But I know because she's so proud of her work. I look at it a different way. I look at it as maybe somebody in the field of application quite some time. So what is the best to do? What is the best to avoid? Sometimes you want to be to be always obvious. You know, that's not good. This is exactly what the Dr. Suzita have highlighted. This is what I will do exactly. Just remove the word novel and done. But this cannot be done anymore anyway, because it's already published, and yeah, it's already gonna count as a KPI. So I shouldn't worry too much about it, because whether it has the word novel or not, it will still be counted. Again, on the topic of language, as you know, all of us here are basically non-native English speaker. We come from different background. Our mother language is different, and I think many of us here also speak more than 3 or more languages. And those people who speak 3 and more languages, they have delay in the process. When they talk, there is a delay in the process to which one to choose. I experienced that myself. Sometimes I delay. I need to process I'm talking to who and what language I should use. On daily life, I face this issue. So we are not native speakers. Meaning we need to really take care of our language. Now this is something accumulative. It will not come overnight. For you guys, you have to be maybe engaged with international lecturers, international students. Yeah, I mean, if you consider Jabatan Biology, if you consider me as an international, you can always communicate with me, although I know you don't really consider me as an international, that's the problem. So it's useless sometimes. You have to communicate in English always. One of the very good books, I still have it in my personal bookcase, and I really advise anybody want to improve is to read this book by William Strunk, The Elements of Style. This is a very old book, has been published many times in different versions. I have the one that published probably in the early 2000s, but I do remember when I was doing my PhD in UM back around 2008, I think. When I got the book, I remember that book was the turning point between talking or writing as the English as a second language or third language, or thinking, writing, communicating as a professional person, regardless the fact that I'm still not a native speaker, and I will not be a native speaker. I will never be a native speaker, basically. Because I'm not. It doesn't matter how I talk, which accent I use. My accent personally is a mix of so many things. I cannot change it because this is the nature. But when it comes to write, when it's all about writing, this book is really highly advised, or any other book you find it personally useful for you to how to arrange your sentences, how to start the sentence, how to end it, how to avoid long, lengthy paragraph or very short paragraph suddenly potom, without any introduction. Suddenly after 2 lines, stop, no dot, another one. That's not necessarily right. So language is really something that needs to be improved and do not depend on machine. Trust me, if it's helpful, I will. I mean, you can use it. I don't say you don't use it. That's of course not realistic to say don't use the AI techniques and technology and whatnot. That's not realistic. But use it as a tool. Don't really let it guide the whole process. You should guide the tool. You should drive the ChatGPT to come up with something. Remember, as I told you, the journal will check for AI content, and the high AI content in very good journals will be a very good reason for rejection, immediate rejection. Just similar to what we all know and what we all face sometimes, which is the plagiarism. Plagiarism, whether it's a self-plagiarism, plagiarism, or dual publication, because it is avoided. It could cause a problem to student, to you as a researcher, and you really need to avoid plagiarism by, even if you are using your own word to cite your own self. This is kind of self-plagiarism. You reporting the results in the thesis and in the paper at the exact same way. This is also a problem. If you publish before Viva, you will get a problem. If you publish after Viva, you will be problem with the first one will be problem with IPS. The second one will be problem with the journal. That's why it should be avoided. Result, you want to report result? Fine. In the thesis, put it as a table. When you present it in your article, put it as a Venn diagram, or put it as a chart, or whatever it is. So it will not be the same. You are not really exactly reporting the same thing. I know some numbers, some responded, some responses, some numbers, some data is cannot avoid. It should be in thesis and it should be in the article, but don't copy paste. Just try to improvise and report in another style or another way. Always remember that this is the easiest and the best reason for a journal or for an editor or for a reviewer to reject your work. I love plagiarism when it comes to me rejecting the work. Yeah, don't look at me. I reject papers every day because this is my job as an editor. I need to do that for free of any charge, and I've been given 20 articles, and the editor-in-chief won the best 2. So yeah, I mean, I need to basically reject 18 articles as fast as possible. And what's the best way rather than seeing the plagiarism high and give the author the best rejection ever they can get? Yeah, this is how it works. You have to know this. When I'm telling you this, you are now in the know of what's going on the other end that you don't see. You don't really know. On the other end, what happened? There are a lot of things. Some of it very confidential, some of it not really. So one of the things that not really confidential plagiarism. Sometimes I don't get the article with, especially if it's about my field, proteomics, for example, because I read a lot about it every day. So sometimes when I read the sentence, it's like, I have seen this one before, you know. I have read such similar thing before, but the report is not submitted. So what should I do? I run myself the Terbitan or I authenticate report, and I found like 60%, 40%, 50% plagiarism, and it's just a matter of writing a nice report and reject on the spot, which is a good thing, by the way. Rejecting very fast is a good thing, because you just give the author another chance to improve and submit elsewhere. Don't let them wait for months and then come up with the same result, which is really disturbing. That's why we need to avoid plagiarism, because it is the easiest way to get your article rejected. Avoid also using the data for conference proceeding or publishing the data in another language, and you still want to publish it in English in WRS or Scopus Journal, because we are in the AI era, you know, you can detect exactly this is written in another language before or not. This is very, by the way, this is, some people they think we are in the best time to write article. In fact, this is the most difficult time to write an article, if you ask me. If you write an article and publish in Springer Nature, you are very good. Not because I do that, no. Because that's the reality. The tools more available, competition higher, detection faster, detection easier. Yeah, I mean, it's easier to be detected. Not like before. Before, it's need way more efforts to be detected. Now it's not anymore. So it is not the time really that articles is easier, not really. It is just now a different way, different momentum of writing articles. The momentum is very fast because we are in the AI era. Any questions so far? Is there any questions so far before we highlight a little bit on how to use AI properly? Ada soalan? All right. How to use AI well? Because we sometimes don't use it well. And I think we discussed it probably at the department level or faculty level, I forgot. Whether ChatGPT workshop, ChatGPT subscription, will it ever improve writing skills or make you writing better? In my opinion, maybe it's controversial. In my opinion, no. Because I hear in UPSI 2020, and now we are heading towards 2026. I know everybody in the community of publication, from the library to the authors themselves, even respected authors from different faculty. I didn't see any one of them write way more when they write before. The same thing. The average is the average for each going almost the same. No change. Because it doesn't really help. It helped, of course, a lot, but remember, this help come on the expense that journals now also requesting higher and higher and higher quality work. What being accepted in 2021, where there is no AI, in journal A is definitely not accepted anymore. The journal want higher quality. So how to use AI? Well, basically, use it for brainstorming. I use it a lot for brainstorming. This is a friend of you, that can you talk to, discuss to give the feedback, give information and discuss. What do you think about this experiment? What do you think about this approach? What do you think about this theory? And you try to disagree with the AI. No, they say something you don't believe it is correct. Say, I think still this because of this reference. Do you have any evidence that this is not really? They will give you evidence. Use it for brainstorming. Generate ideas maybe, and to ask or to answer research questions, basically, rather than use it in just generating or writing or whatever. Brainstorming is for me the very important one. Language polishing to certain level only. You might translate the thesis from BM or Bahasa Indonesia to English before you rewrite it or readjust it or reformat yourself. I received document, for example, in Bahasa Arab. I can translate myself, of course, but I want to get it done on the spot. So I just put and I say, please just give me the summary response in English or in Malay or whatever it is. Make your work faster. That's it. But again, remember, AI must be always less than 20%, and the journal usually they don't use Terbitan, that you know, they use something called Authenticate that you guys don't have access to, and that one is more sensitive. So when you get your paper rejected and you wonder why, this could be very well the reason, because other editors, their way, they will not tell you about plagiarism, because they will feel like this is going to be not nice to the author. But they will say not enough level of novelty. This is, remember, editor rejection email that you receive is written by a human, written by the editor. Some editors, they would want to hurt the author, so they will just give general sentence, which personally I would like to know exactly why, so I can work on improving. Another thing that you can use is to basically formatting. You want to send a proposal, usually proposal last minute, and you want the references to be Michigan or Springer or APA style. So you can use AI, give the reference and say, please adjust it for me in APA level. This is a short remedy. The long, better solution is to use the reference manager. Visualization idea. Visualization idea mean how you want to imagine the sketching of something in order to draw it later professionally in Canva or in diagram.io or in maybe even PowerPoint, why not? But just an imaginary, to imagine something. Do not use AI to put the figures in the article and send it for publication. They will look AI and they will be rejected for sure. Or they will be comment about it. If the journal is a good journal, you will not accept that. There are other tools for drawing, not AI. Do not generate entire paraphrase or generate or paraphrase entire new research. That will be detected easily. Do not use AI to fabricate reference citation that does not exist. That will be obviously detected. And don't rely on AI for your conclusion and interpretation. That's very important because AI do a lot of mistakes. The AI tool still do a lot of mistakes. Don't use it, avoid it for interpretation, because it could directly guide you to somewhere else, and that will be the easier way for your paper to be rejected. Right? I think we can go for 5 minutes break, if you do not mind. Maybe you just relax before we go to the review and how to respond to review and the other parts of the talk. Is that okay, Juan? Okay, so 5 minutes break, then we can continue. Within this break, you can ask any question if you would like to ask. Okay, kawan-kawan dah have some refreshment, and I think we can go back to the topic and cover a very important part, which is reviews. Now, we have already prepared our article, follow the sequence, follow the components that we need to follow, and we have done a very good job in selecting a journal. We have 5, 6, 7 candidates that we can select one by one. We done our references using EndNote or using any other reference manager. Now is the time to submit. When we do submit, there are two main output will come. Immediately, it will be a disk rejection. Disk rejection means it's rejected before it goes to any reviewer. It's rejected at the editor-in-chief, technical editor level. Or it will be going for peer review process. Here, where we could get reviews, and we need to know how to deal with those reviews. So basically, dealing with reviews sometimes is challenging, because some of the reviews will be very demanding, a lot of comments, a lot of wishes, more close to a wish rather than a comment, because they want you to do this experiment and they want you to do that experiment, which require about 50,000 ringgit and require the sample that you don't have anymore, and it's just impossible to be done. This is a way. There is a way to do respond to such revision, or there is the minor revision, which is, in my opinion, very rare to get minor revision directly. When you submit, usually you will get rejection or major. No, you don't get minor directly. Minor you will get in the second round of revision. Maybe you will get 1, 2, 3 times minor. But except and minor, this is something in the first submission, I don't think you will see much. What you will see though is a major revision and rejection, unfortunately. So when you see major revisions, that's actually a good sign. Mean there are a lot of comments, there are a lot of things need to be changed, but your work has the potential. The editor can see something in your article, but need really you to address those points carefully and timely and effectively. Here, how you need to work on this criticism and how to write the response to the reviewer and convince them that you done the correction accordingly, or convince them why doing the correction is not necessarily or is not possible, and why you as an author think this will not affect the overall story about your article. This is very important. In a very polite, professional way. Remember, here this is somebody have spare his or her time for free without any single cent to write the review of your article. So if you're angry at them, they are human beings. Of course, they will respond to your anger by rejecting your article, because for them the response is not professional, and professionalism is very important part of any manuscript preparation. Right? So what you should do, basically you should quote and respond to every single comment. Don't take the comment, bulk of the comments, put like this, and then bulk of your response underneath that. That's very wrong. Each point raised, no matter how simple or small it is, try to respond directly under the point. So you will have a lot of points and a lot of response to each point. This is a detailed point by point response. Some journals now, especially Springer, when you upload, they will ask you, please upload point by point response. So they are telling you what to do, basically, to write a point by point, respond to every and each comment. You have to start by thanking the reviewer and just say, we have done the necessary changes, we have corrected this, we have removed this, we have added this. And then you also, as I say, if you think that is necessary, you don't want to delete it, you have to say why. Why? Not because you like the word or like the sentence. Why scientifically? Why you think it makes sense to leave it? That's very important, because here you will be judged by the reviewer based on your response. Whether you've done sufficient, or the reviewer say they don't done sufficient correction to qualify the work to be published. Remember again, editors, reviewers, they are donating the time totally free, and they invest time and efforts, and they try to provide the best comments they can. By the way, a question. How many papers have you reviewed this year? Is there anyone reviewed any paper this year? How many? 1, 5, 2, 10. How many journal under Springer Nature? 3. Okay, so you already know that when you do review, you are spending some time for free. Springer Nature, Elsevier, Whaley, they will not give money to any reviewer. Otherwise, I will be so rich. But unfortunately, it's all free. What I do learn a lot though, when I do review, now mainly editorial work, is that I get the up-to-date work even before publish in my hand. Not to copy or duplicate, but just to be in the know on what's going on. What's going on in this field, and where am I? Where are other people? What should I do to improve my own research towards the most highly updated and sophisticated techniques, or maybe avoid some obsolete techniques that is not no longer accepted worldwide, or maybe to adjust a theory or adjust a hypothesis, because I need to also consider the human studies. You think the theory is solid theory because this is what you learned during your degree, and maybe the research have shown that this solid theory has some gaps. Nothing holy, except Quran, nothing holy. So you need to maybe really improvise your theory and in response to the high quality peer reviewed research that publish. And yeah, again, when you disagree, you can disagree with the reviewer. Yes, you do. You can disagree, but you need to justify your disagreement and put it in a very professional way. That you disagree for this reason, 1, 2, 3, and that's why you think that you leave this result or you leave this sentence will be more impactful to the discussion, will be more helpful to the introduction session and whatnot, depending on the comment. You try to incorporate your response to your revised manuscript and also do something, it's a little bit extra, but it will be very helpful. I do it always. When you justify something, try to support your justification with a reference. Reference in the response, not in the main paper. Again, you try to tell the reviewer, I agree with you, but I think I need to do this, and support your claim with references. Maybe you put the link without necessarily citing them in the manuscript. I use reference in response, so to tell the reviewer that I am telling you this based on evidence. Not my opinion, but it's an evidence-based comment to the criticism done by that particular reviewer. The most important again is to respond point by point, every single point, no matter how you think it is simple. Please adjust the table font, for example. You just say table 3.1, for example, adjust it accordingly. Do not leave it unresponded because this is sure that you are not really a professional and you are not really paying attention to details. Sometimes you need to deal with reviewers that angry or not happy or really their comment is really harsh. Sometimes even personal, they attack personally. You always be professional. Do not tell the reviewer, I will teach you how to do it. No, don't do that because you don't have the chance to teach him or her. They are somewhere else. If they are here, just tell them, I will teach you whatever. Meet me at the petrol station. I'm just kidding. But this one is overseas. You cannot teach them anything. Even if you say, that will not happen. But try always to respond professionally. I think I put an example here. I put examples from my own personal experience on a paper last 2 years, I think. So the reviewers say it's recommended that you approach people with necessary expertise. Me, I don't have the necessary expertise. To make identification, this is about proteomic identification, which is something I'm doing since 2009. What you show in table 5 indicate your lack of proteomic skills. This is a personal judgment. Seek advice from someone experienced in proteomics. I'm sure that using your database that I propose, you will able to identify the IgE antibody patient. But yet again, get advice from someone who understands proteomics. What does it mean? I don't understand proteomics. And you will see the identification, different confident identification, since what is currently shown in table 5 is extremely deficient, just not to say false. This is part of it, by the way, not all. Then, by the way, this paper is published in the same journal where this reviewer comment. So at the end of the day, I published in the same journal, Molecular Immunology. I published that in 2023. So I just do a reply, I say I have read the reviewer comment and I agree with you, but they are very impolite. However, I think the reviewer this is not me. This is the editor-in-chief. Professional editor tell me, the editor-in-chief tell me, I read the reviewer comment and I agree with you. They are very impolite. However, I think the reviewer read very carefully your manuscript, which is true. And there are also several useful comments, which is also true. Please try to answer the comments as good as possible. Explain in a polite way what you improve or why it is not necessary to change. I respond. Then I say, I put myself as a patient author, orang bersabar, because this guy, if he's in Malaysia, I don't know what will happen. If the people know me very well, they know what will happen. But luckily, many of you don't know me very well. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. I say with respect the reviewer's scientific comment. And we make sure that we answered all of them. That is very crucial to improve the manuscript. We have to mention that despite the fact that this research could have few issues, which is normal, the research conducted in a very critical time during COVID-19 breakdown by a group of committed researchers, my co-author, I need to defend them, with enough experience to conduct high-quality research. This research not aberrated from the standard we apply through our research and publication. We do not think that this manuscript is the best platform to evaluate research skills. Telling the reviewer, don't evaluate me personally in this manuscript. That's not the place to say lack of skills or whatever. And long story short, because this reviewer have gave me, if I'm not mistaken, 7 pages A4 of comments. Yeah. If you are interested, tell me. I can dig out for this review report. I can share it with you. Then I decided, in order to revenge from this reviewer, what is the best way to revenge? Besides smashing the table only, that is. What is the best way to revenge? To publish the work. That's the best. I think the guy would be angry so much if this were published. So I took really my very, very sweet time within the time frame given. I communicate with my collaborators, which are fantastic. Dr. Nuzul from UPM Food. She's a very fantastic lady, very patient. And we agree to be as professional as possible, discuss each and every point, try to do every single correction possible. And finally, we submitted. The editor was a professor from Austria, I forgot her name. And I'm assuming the reviewer from Austria or Germany. It couldn't be out of these two countries. But we publish it. So yeah, if other people, I on the same moment when I received this email, I just want to reply, call the reviewer and the editor and the journal and Austria and Germany, maybe all of them together. But that will actually do what? Do nothing. It will just backfire. I will not get anything. I waited quite a long time for this review. I was waiting for months. And this is also Springer Nature Journal. Since we're talking about Springer Nature, the theme of today is Springer Nature. And this IgE antibody thinks that we cannot and whatnot and whatever, it's published. I will show you the article for one reason. Just to let you know that even if you get the worst comment ever, don't give up. Because there is a chance that you can publish your work. Was made by the editor-in-chief to do very major correction. I don't know this exact reviewer, what was the recommendation that he gave, but you can guess that he recommended to reject the article. But he's not the only one. There's 4 reviewers, but this is the interesting one that I want to share with you because it's the nicest review I ever get. Sorry, I mistakenly said this is a Springer Nature. This is an Elsevier journal, and this is the work that been published in the journal after reviewing, which took. They don't mention here. They don't highlight it here. They just say available when, and it took quite a long time. Between submission to publication, I think it took 7-8 months. Yeah, but it is being published at the end of the day, which is basically the goal of our team, right, to publish this work. So if you get very horrible, terrible comment, don't give up. Even if you got rejection, take from this horrible comment some useful point, because I have to be honest to you, this person have read my paper, every single letter, not every single word, and really do a dissection and digestion, which is a very helpful. But his was not the best. The words is not the best, but you know what? Now I'm here and the paper published, who cares? I don't understand anything in anything. Who cares? The paper is already published, and this is what we actually want at the end of the day, isn't it? Oh yeah, it's here already. This is the article. Things that I want to emphasize also, because it's often forgotten and often not highlighted in any talk that I at least attend. There is additional information, acknowledgement, statement of sponsorship, trial registration, disclosure of conflict of interest, always neglected by authors. And this is, by the way, a very good reason also for rejection. Because here there will be a concern of a human concern, even if you do human study, not necessarily you take blood sample or serum or plasma. If you ask the people and you will get your opinion, you need this consent of, what they call it, concern of whatever. And you need to have, for us, like in biology, we do have, need to have ethical approval, we need to have the trial registration, we need to have the, this all additional information, substantial and very important to a paper. A paper on a mice or on human without Without these things, immediately rejection. My article, the one I showed you earlier with novel, the antibacterial things, that one has to go to ethical approval, trial registration, have to be done all registered, and there's a number that they will be given to you, and this number should be a valid number, not just a number being created because they can cross-check. In order to get this trial registration and whatnot. Acknowledgement, of course, you have to thank the library, Tuanku Bainun, you have to thank RMIC, because you see they are here committed every few weeks, put us together in order to boost the energy of publication in this university. So I think it's the least that we can do to acknowledge them, acknowledge the faculty, acknowledge the RMIC, maybe fund provider, and some people, they don't like acknowledgement. They don't want to thank anyone. I don't know why. I have a collaborator, they don't want to acknowledge anyone. I think we should thank the people that help us. And of course, disclosure of conflict of interest. If you may be doing a research on a topic related to the funder, you need to say that I was funded from this funder to do this research, which is related to the business of the funder and whatnot, because it is very important, and we always forget about it. Even myself, I forget about it. All right. Okay. The quality of presentation is really important. I will go through this very fast because I think I took already a long time, and we'll try to end as fast as possible. I don't think we will be able to go to the other two topics today because this is only topic one and we are not yet done. So I think that one could be maybe an activity for probably early next year, one, inshallah. The quality of presentation. This is also a very big problem. You know, you do the work in certain machine and you just screenshot, you put it in the paper and you call it done. That's not accepted in Elsevier or Springer or whatever. That's not accepted. They really need you to work on the figure, to recreate the figure, whether it's a pie chart, statistical map, is a bar graph, a ratio chart, whatever chart it is, it needs to be redone and created professionally using the right font, the right size, and of course the how clear it is, the PPI and whatnot, how many pixel per inch, and all this kind of stuff. You need to be aware about it. Okay, I think I have something here probably to share. Let me see if there's something. Oh, okay. All right. So always when you work on figures, this is my practice. You need a very big cloud to do that, but that's my practice. You try to save your figure in 4 different extensions: JPEG, TIFF, PDF, and EPS, which is EPS. TIFF is the best and the most compatible with Photoshop. Photoshop is used to improvise and to make the figure look professional. Did you wonder when you read some articles how they come out with this figure? Why it's so nice? Do you have this feeling? I always do have this feeling. I mean, it comes from these things. Paying attention to the details, always work on a high DPI, 600 and above. I know it takes a lot of space, but I mean, this is something you cannot avoid. One of the things that you can simply check or test your figures, try to zoom in on the figure when you put it as a PDF. Convert your Word to PDF, zoom in. If you see it goes horribly wrong, that means your figure is not suitable. If you see that it's still crystal clear, still okay, that's mean your figure is good to go. One of the things that you can do to avoid what's so-called pixelated figures. Redo the annotation by other software. If you do, for example, a graph, any type of graph, HPLC, LCQ-TOF in biology or food science or whatever, any type of graph, any type of data presentation, you do it, you take it from a machine, always try to rewrite and redo the annotation generated by the software, because usually it will be small, it will be not clear, and it will be pixelated, what's called pixelated. You try to do it yourself, and here I'm giving a real example. Before that, I think we just show the real example and we go back. This is a graph. I personally got it from, if I'm not mistaken, LCQ-TOF machine. You can see there is writing actually here and here and here and here. This is details needed, very important, but not readable at all. And this is the best that the machine can give me. So what you need to do is you need to redo this. So if I click here, the byte should bring us to an article that has the same figure, also Springer Nature, by myself and my collaborators. And this one here will show you what is actually being published rather than the one that you saw just now, which look obviously not the best. This is the same one compared to the one I show you, which is basically here. You see this one, very low quality in comparison to this, which when you zoom, you still get to read it very clearly, because all the numbers you see, all the writings you see, all this done manually by Photoshop. I cannot leave it because barely I myself can read what is the software telling me. If I don't know the setting, I cannot read. But now to the authors that they don't know how I did this experiment, they need to know that I use fragmentation 175 volt, sample 1 to 1, and whatsoever for related to this particular example. And I need to name the sample exactly. This AM control, this is AM, I think I something from lacquer sample, and this is Sigamat sample, took sample from different location. So yeah, it can be, your study can be about local interests, but it should sound interested to any international reader or researcher, so they can cite the work. This is how you can do, this is what Photoshop will be useful for, because it makes your article or your figure readable. This is the same here. This figure, I have to redo all because the writing from the software, you cannot read anything. Almost you cannot read anything. Yeah, so please consider that, redo the figure in order to improve your presentation and in order to make it look the best, look professional, to be accepted in a Springer, Elsevier, or whatever journal of that matter, Scopus or Web of Science index. All right, so I just want to conclude. Sorry, the figure is not really clear. Apologize for that. But we want to, in my opinion, conclude what what is the element that can help anyone to publish a paper? For me, I think the significance of the data, how your data is up to date, that could be 30-40%. I think presentation, well-crafted article, the way of writing your article goes all the way to 40%. Strong and diverse research team that could help, but not more than 10%. Time for writing and submission, that will be also not more than 10%. And then finally, something would surprise you, that if you have money to go for open access, will not contribute to more than 10% of your chance to publish. So if you don't have grant, don't make this as an excuse not to publish, because you always can publish subscription based, can publish hybrid journals. There are a lot of ways, even if you don't have article processing charge in hand, which is for me not significant, not more than 10%. The most important factors, 70% is how your data up to date, or how it makes sense, and how it is well crafted and well written. This is of course subjective judgment, personal opinion. You can argue about this all day long, but this is what I think that could be a factor to help people to publish their work. Then what is the element I put it for us staff Jabatan Biology, UPSI, although I don't think I have the time to share it ever with you guys in Jabatan Biology. Remind me if I did that before. Did I present such thing before? No, not really, right? Because I thought I want to do special workshop for Jabatan Biology, but it's just that the time is not really helping. Factors that really matter, I think, is you always work for original, innovative work. Remember, innovative doesn't mean novel. Innovative means there is a wow factor, even if the experiment been done many times before. Okay, let me rephrase. No, we don't really reinventing the wheel with the budget that we are working with. You have to put that in your mind. You have to know where you are, who you are, what you're doing. We are not in MIT and our budget is like 3 million USD per team. No, we don't have such thing. We have limitation in resources and we should work with what we have. The significance of research, I think, very important, and then the collaboration and networking. The rest from maybe structure, writing, literature review, data quality, important but not that much. One of the big chunk also for me, consider very important, is the visual and graphics. So if I want to take 3 only out of 4, maybe I take 4 out of all these components, I will go for significance of the research, originality, and how the wow factor, even if your research is simple, and visual and graphics, very important, which I think it is mostly neglected by many of us, to be honest. We don't think that visualization is important. It is very important, in fact. And finally, the adherence to journal guideline. This is also something, when you submit to a journal that have guideline and you don't follow the guideline, mean you are just calling them to reject your work, basically. If you want to submit to a journal very strict in guideline, you have to strictly follow the guideline to make your life and editor and reviewer life easier. In conclusion, I want to tell you that there is no secret that I know you do not know, in my opinion, or anyone else good. We have many people in this faculty, at least way better than me. They don't have a secret that you do not know. Trust me. Information that I share with you, all available for free. Just read the instruction, be prepared, and be ready for avoiding any pitfall in publication by paying attention to details, by trying to get a friend of yours or maybe a teammate or collaborator to criticize your work. And don't hate them if they criticize your work, especially if it comes from someone they know what they are doing. But what I mean is someone have experience in that field, publish a lot in that field. When they criticize, they know what they are doing. Always be courteous, consider detail in response to your reviewer, because this is essential. Do not ignore them. Reorganize, maybe point by point respond will be the way to go. Pay attention to every comment, no matter what it is, small or big. Choosing the journal, which we done last session, very important, because this will cut for you 70, 80, 90% of the process time. If you go to the wrong journal, sometimes after 3, 4, 5 months, there are journals, after 5 months they will tell you, oh, your article look out of scope of the journal. I mean, they should tell you earlier, isn't it? But this is how they work, and you are wasting 3, 4 months just because it's out of the scope. This is something should be done very well, way before you submit to any journal. Of course, you know, reproducibility, honesty, and the spirit of developing, encouraging the wow factor in your article will be always welcomed by journals. Some don't write in the way that you are telling the journal that you know, and you are the only one you know, and your work is the best, and everybody else don't really know much. No, always try to be simple, humble, go down as much as possible. We are all here learning. Even myself, when I share this one with you, the only thing I'm getting, by the way, is good time to see such potential great writers, and maybe just to, I also learn actually a lot, because there are a few points during the presentation, although today the session is not so much interactive. Usually my sessions is very interactive. Today everybody almost want to sleep, tak apa. No problem. But usually I will get points that I will bring back myself in order to learn, maybe dig or dive deep and try to improve. This is a matter of improvement. It is a continuous process. If you feel that you reach, then this is the start of the fall. That's why I always think that 2026 start, then this is the time for me to learn what I missed to learn in 2025. Example, this is between me and the library, you don't have to know. Now I learned that in 2026 I should publish less spring nature, and maybe go for Elsevier or Whaley. This is something personally for me. You don't have to know. Only Chikashfi and Anjuran, they can know, no problem. But this is for just for job. I'm just telling you a job. Just an example. We learn every single year what we should do, what we should avoid, what is the strategy we should go all about. Before we end up, I would love to hear any question from the floor, just to make sure that you are not sleeping. Yes.
Do we need to disclose that we are using AI to get information or to get an idea?
Okay, that's a nice one. This is a very nice question. I was, and I still actually, reviewing one paper from Brazil. It's in my desktop. I open it a few days already. I'm reading and commenting. They declare that they use software like ChatGPT and whatnot, and after that they do some reformation to make it sound and to make it suitable with the journal, blah 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 blah. This is not that much important. What is important is the I-30K report. What the report tell about your manuscript. Is it AI 0, less than 20%, or it is more than 20%? Where is it? It is not acceptable. This is what matters much. You want to be honest, can. You don't have to disclose, also can. It's up to you. But it's a good question, because this is the trend now of researcher to declare. So that to tell the journal, I already tell you earlier, saya dah cakap awal kan, I dah pakai ChatGPT, Coolbot, jangan cakap I didn't tell you, I already say. It doesn't work that way. You say or you don't say, your report is not good, the paper will be rejected. But you can be honest, no problem. Ada soalan? Any question? Yes, Nabi?
My question is also related to AI tools. Let's say if we write or paragraph, so we need to prove reading or check grammar issues. So if we upload to AI tools, any tools, so is it going to be considered as AI detection?
Yeah. This is the faster way to get detected by AI. Whether you're using I-30K or Terbitan or even the other commercial one. If you ask the AI to redo the language for you, here where you will be actually caught. Easier. The faster way to be caught. Try to avoid it.
So what should be the alternative we can make?
Alternative for you, you come and see me in the office, and then we can work on polishing the language. For others, you always sit down and discuss with your research team. You write with your friends. Let the people comment about the work. You yourself know how we work with people from literally all over the world. We are working with Luis from Argentina, a friend of ours that we do not know, and we only know online, but we are working with him the last 2 years. We work on a book, on an article, and we are working on more articles, on more books. This guy is just good. And yeah, he's now so-called in my research team. Look for people no matter what. I told you, this guy from Argentina all the way. But he's very committed and he wants to work with me, and I don't mind. Our team is diversified. We have people from Japan, not necessarily Japanese. I mean, my friend from Japan, she's a Malaysian, but she lived in Japan all the last 15 years probably. And I would love to work with her all the time. I have friends from all over the world. Choose the people that they are working. They are working. The good team produce good work. Team building in research, this is another topic. We can always talk about it later. But yeah, I always work on, nowadays I work with team. Before I used to work alone. Even if you see my earlier review articles, single author. Only me. I want to prove to myself that time that I can do it. Now I know I can do it. I don't want to prove anything to myself, of course. But now I want the work to be more efficient and more smooth, because there is other responsibilities on those who publish a lot. If you publish a lot in UPSI, you will be kind of under the spotlight, which is a good thing. And maybe sometimes it's not a good thing, but for me, I think it's a good thing. Because you will be, they will know you, and they will count how many articles you publish every year. And if you publish less than last year, they will be questioning why. You know, take care of the university and take care of the KPI. And of course, this is something, in my opinion, this is a positive macro management that I prefer. I like. I want always to be remembered that there are people who will check. So do not give up. Do not, because I'm a human being also. Don't think I don't give up or get bored or I don't want to see the comment. I don't want to comment on the paper. I have this a lot, especially for those who do this many hours per day, not as an author, as an editor and as a reviewer. Because I manage few journals. I manage 3 journals, one of which is the JSML, our faculty journal, as the biology editor and the managing editor, beside Dr. Nuzul, which is the editor-in-chief. And other 2 journals and the review process. I get bored. Too much of information, too much of things sometimes. Yeah, so this kind of motivation, I like it because there's somebody watching you. This is not a negative thing. This is a positive thing. There's somebody, Eji Kashfi, if he see me next year publish 2 articles only, he must call me. Are you okay? Say, hi, what happened with you? Because he expect more. That's a problem sometimes. For me, I make it as opportunity, not as a problem. Because I remember 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. No need to mention all the names, but you can guess. Those will want not only from me, from everybody, publication. Because here, you see, here the environment, honestly, very friendly and very helpful. Grab the opportunity. I am someone that study overseas, study in Malaysia, in UM. I did postdoc in UM, UPM. I work in the government under Mufti. I spent a bunch of my life studying elsewhere. This environment is really helpful. If you want to success, this is the background to success. If you think you cannot because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's up to you. I'm fine. I mean, I myself, as probably a colleague, management want you to publish, but they are fine if you don't. LMPT, and yeah, it's up to you. Personally, I think to be as a researcher or to be as someone in the field, stand and teach my student with confidence, my work. So the student, they know that this guy know what he is talking about. In my field, of course, in other things I don't know anything. In my field, I think I know something. So I can share with my student, my degree student, my master student, my diploma student. So, grab opportunity. We have this agreement with Springer. We have very supportive library team. They are not paying me to say that. I'm saying that honestly. Because this is what I see and I face all these years. I contacted with them, in contact with them, probably after 1 or 2 months from joining the university, asking them macam-macam. Especially when I want to key in, get published, I just want to key in the paper. Tak sabar. I want to key in the paper in the system. I have to call Encik Kashfi. That's why he ran away from Aramisi to the library. But still I chase him. No way. I get support, and all of you, I'm sure you will get enough support you need. But you need to just start, and you will be there for sure, because it is very doable. For any one of you, it is super doable. But you want to do it or not, that's the question. More questions? Maybe we take the last question from the audience. Kawan-kawan biologi ada soalan? Okay.
Contoh kan pada jurnal dia akan request untuk kita namakan potential reviewer kan. Jadi adakah potential reviewer tu memang mereka akan approach ataupun tak semestinya?
Oh, okay, that's a nice question. Depend on the journal. High quality journal, they will not use your suggestion.
Tapi kalau dia
Minta for formality, not for using the. Yeah, I work with journals, 3 journals. 2 of them, they will never look at the. Yeah, I'm as an editor in BMC Microbiology and in New Zealand Journal of Horticulture and Crop. When I receive your article and you suggest it to me, these 2 names or 3 names, I need these 2-3 names, I will never send it to them. Yeah.
jurnal yang akan choose sendirilah the potential reviewer.
Yes, they have, usually each editor will have a connection of reviewers, and because finding a reviewer that responds on time is a big challenge for editor. No, because it's a free work. Who want to do free work? I'm willing to do free work. That's why I'm coming here today to share something for. But not everybody willing to do that. That's why each editor have a list of trusted reviewer that they can always refer to. Sometimes we do not know them personally, but we know them through work. Many, I know people in different countries, I never meet them, but I know them, they know me. Always, when they need my help, I'm there. When I need their help, they are there, but without any conflict of interest. So yeah, it's really subjective to answer your question. It could be yes, it could be no, but for formality, you need to. Springer Nature, by the way, going towards removing this from even the requirement. The new system, the SNAP system, the Springer Nature Submission System, the new one, not the Manuscript Central that some journal use. The new system, they don't care about suggestion. They don't want it. Yes.
Contoh kan kalau misalnya certain jurnal tu dia approach kita as a reviewer kan, for example from the Elsevier. And then kalau for example kita just always accept saja and then bantu untuk review, ada tak apa-apa yang ambil ada effect tu?
Tak ada. The Brazilian article I'm reviewing to Journal of Food Measurement and Characterization. It's an American journal published by Springer. I think almost every proteomic study they will send it to me. Because so far I can check from the record, I have already done 18 review for them. 1/8.
Ada effect tak kalau kita always decline validation?
It's up to us. We want, this is free work, you want to do or not. For me, I have a part of my work in food-related proteomics. So I would love to get updates. And this is a very good journal that can give me what's going on. That's why I accept the invitation. Some nowadays I'm selective, very selective. Although I still do a lot, but very selective. Selective with publishers, selective with articles, selective with because of the invitation. selective with the Q that I do. If it's not Q1 or Q2, I will not really. Because of the time, of course. So that's up to you. But if you also, it can be considered as points. You can claim your LMPT. Yes. But, yeah, but that's the thing. But again, personally, I think in January, I cannot claim any since January. I think everybody, because it's too full. But I really want to know what's going on. So I think this year so far, if I'm not mistaken, between reviewer, I processed maybe 170 manuscripts so far. A lot. Yeah, but most of them rejected, just to put you in perspective. Yeah, because if I don't reject, I will not reach that number. And the target is not to reach this number at all. But again, I told you, the editor-in-chief will set the target. Yesterday, I was in discussion with one of the editor-in-chief, and he said to me, we might get 50 article, first screening 20, last screening 3. What to do? The answer is very obvious, reject. Because I need to reject the less favorite 47 and accept the best 3 within this issue. Submission rate very high. That's why rejection rate very high. Journals publish hundreds and they receive thousands of articles. Doesn't mean that you cannot publish. You can easily publish. But just to be reasonable in your choice, choose the right team, choose the right topic, follow the instruction basically, avoid these points that we highlighted today, and everything will be inshallah fine. If no more question, I think I would like to thank you so much all for attending for today, and hopefully to see you in upcoming parts. Assalamu alaikum.